camera a little crooked? Is that better? Well, hi. What are these things in my face? Hey, so we're gonna pot some things up today. By the way, Blizzard 2026 has started outside because I'm in New York City. Let's get the hair up because let's get dirty. What? No, PG channel. My name is Leslie. I'm in New York City. I'm in an apartment and I have about 100 houseplants. And I'm gonna be repotting some of them today, but I am all about aesthetically pleasing, stylized plant collecting. And but I love the hobby. And we're gonna talk about all the things over time. But let's first dive into why I have to repot something today. And I'll probably do this a bit over the week. So you'll see wardrobe changes and snow and things like that. So this beautiful Hoya, name on screen. This beautiful Hoya, look at that. Look how big the new leaf is. It is larger than the planter that I made. Yes, I made this one. So we got to get it out of this pot because it's currently sitting on, well, you know what? Let me show you what it's sitting on. So the plan is to take this planter by Comwork. They're based in Japan. And because I think that will be a nice height for it, I got to see the root systems first. Also, if you know anything about plants, this one currently has flat mites. Now I've been treating it, which is why there's this gorgeous new leaf and there's these beautiful growth points. So I'm gonna first kind of get into this, move these things aside. I'm gonna say some quick things while I move this without being too dramatic. This is my last 8 months in my dream apartment. Can't afford it anymore. A lot of things have oh, the leaf is bending. See, this is what I mean. This has gotta be repotted. There you go, kid. I've gotta move. You're gonna go on that journey with me in the summertime. And I've been downsizing my collection. I'll continue to. I kind of want to see what's going on inside this pot and talk about this wonderful plant and this piece of pot. No, but see now, I feel like I need to see what the roots look like here to see if this will fit into, okay. We're gonna first dive into this for me to get an idea of what the root system looks like. This is a journey. This is also currently in isolation due to the flat mites, which maybe I'll do a video about flat mites. I've been collecting plants. It'll be 5 years that I started. I got my first plant 5 years ago when I moved into this apartment in April 2021 during the rent concessions of Manhattan. This place was not expensive. It's now expensive. I gotta go. I gotta leave Manhattan. Like, it's a good root system and it's healthy. I give it a lot of attention. I don't know if that's in focus. For the love of God, please be in focus. No dry rot. I've been taking care of my plants in a different way, which I'll share another time, but I do have a plant journal again. I used to do that in my early days of collecting plants. I would write everything down in the notes section, when it was watered, what it was watered with, which I do want to share why this leaf has gotten so big. I'm going to share with you what I've been watering with lately that's been causing that. All right, so I'm a little concerned about the width, like fitting into the planter I want to use. But we're just gonna go, we're gonna go for it. I do miss being able to create pottery. I do hope I can get back to pottery. And you know what, you'll be on that journey with me. Like, we'll talk about another time what my health issues are and why I can no longer create pottery. It's very frustrating, but we'll talk about also the pots I have that I've collected since I've had to stop because I love the art and I love supporting artisans, but I can no longer do that because I can't afford to. So I'm like recycling and grabbing pots from all over the apartment, like, what can I use? Okay, nobody panic. This pot by Comwork Japan, I picked this up at a local plant shop in Brooklyn called Tula House. And I showed the piece of pottery to a plant seller on Palm Street and said, I need to pair something with this. He said, I'll take care of you during my live. So I guess he had pulled plants aside and I told him the measurements, what the diameter was, and he pulled out 3 plants at the end, and I chose this one. Now, I potted this in a really interesting way. The root system was not big enough for this pot, so I got creative to make it work, and it's been with me for over a year now. This is gonna have a small root system, I know it. Yeah, I just wanna show you what I did in here. That succulent mix that I'll reuse. Have I figured out what that is going into? I did this. I chopped up a tiny nursery pot and put it in upside down to create height, which I think I'll be doing for this plant as well. So I'll just put this over here. I'm looking at the roots of this guy, and the reason why I made a face is that it felt like the roots were just gonna drop off. I'm not the best, I'm not terrible at taking care of succulents, but I'm not amazing either. Yeah, no, this is, I did, whoops, okay, great. Let me push that aside. All right, that's a tiny root system, y'all. You know what? I'm sure that I have a good sized pot for it. It'll be a mystery to all of us until I do it. A lot of these roots are just coming straight. A lot of these roots are just coming right off. Oh my God. Why am I so bad with cacti and succulents and so good with ferns? Oh my God, I just don't know when to water them and what they need. There's like no root system on this. Okay, like everybody panic. Oh my God, what are you gonna go into? Okay, well, as you can see, it has dry rot. It didn't root rot in such a giant pot, so, oh my God. Well, that happened. Can this fit into this? Better. Okay, it's a little tight, which is not ideal. But do you see the vision? I do have another pot in mind that I could use, but here's the issue. A lot of my pots are either gonna be way too big or they're way too small. I wanna also fit a trellis for this. I just don't like how it's a little tight in there. So let me loosen up I don't like messing with roots. And this is still not fully hardened off, but I'm gonna have to mess with the roots a little bit. These roots look really good. All right, well, I'm not a root messer. I'll loosen a little. This is thriving and been thriving in ceramic. I think it's okay. We'll find out. Okay, does that have another new there's another growth point happening. It's gonna have 3 growth points going. That's insane. Okay, anyway, right back in you go. Oh, right, there were flat mites in that plant. Okay, great. We're not gonna reuse that. Did check this plant yesterday for flat mites. There aren't any active, but that doesn't mean there's not eggs and stuff because it's in the middle of getting its treatment. So I'm just gonna dump out the substrate into the garbage. I should have taken this one out. I often use just a paper bag like this to repot plants so that I just throw anything away. I don't like that this is sitting on the mat. You'll see me often using alcohol on my hands when I'm handling a plant with pests, so it doesn't spread. How prepared am I for a long form video? Didn't bring myself a towel. All right, hopefully I'm more prepared. I didn't think through the flat mite situation. I love to watch PlantTube. I don't know about you guys, but I would love to hear if you love to watch. Whether you're vegging out from the world, or you're doing chores right now, or you're just mesmerized by the wonderfulness of me. That was all that noise. I didn't cut enough, whatever. Judge me, it's fine. Don't judge me, judge me. Back to 1, everyone. This is very porous, so I'm gonna mix up a little bit of, I wing it. I don't know about you guys, but I wing it with my substrate depending on what's in the house, depending on what's on sale, but most importantly, depending on the need of the plant. So this is porous. I'm gonna take, I won from a free giveaway, Jax's Jungle, her Hoya blend. And this is very aerated, very chunky. So we're gonna add some stuff. Okay, some tree fern fiber for moisture retention. Again, I wing it. I've been at this for almost 5 years. I make a lot of mistakes, but I also get a lot of it right. And if someone can just teach me how to keep cacti alive, thank you. I don't understand when to water them. The one behind me is okay for now. I'm gonna add a little pumice. Some people make sourdough. Some people make substrate. Some people do both. Okay. Oh, I didn't mention this. So a lot of the pottery that I purchased over time, they're really for succulents and cacti. Look at the size of the drainage holes. That's because of what they're made for, not necessarily for aroids or for Hoya. So I usually put a screen at the bottom or something to keep from the substrate just flying out. That's necessary. So let's get this filled up a bit. Looking at the root ball there. I'm eyeing it. Let's see if that's the right size. I'm so excited about this leaf. Go a little bit more substrate. I don't know about anyone else who's watching this right now, who's into home decor and plants and the more calming hobbies, but man, am I grateful for my plant collection during this time. The peace it's giving me in my home and for my health, and the friendships I've made in the hobby have just been so needed. But who knew when I got into this hobby that it would be the thing that is all I can do, but also beyond just me, like things globally that are going on, right? Like it just feels really good to get your hands into the dirt and take some time to just be present with something else and tune it all out. You know, that's a luxury. So I'm glad, more than glad to have this. And it gives me something to wake up for each day. That sounds crazy, but it really does. I'm not able to work during this time. So I know what needs watering when, and I will take care of it. Oh my God, I forgot to go grab a trellis. I can't believe I have to keep getting up. But I wasn't sure if this one was gonna work. Okay, I have a little flat end. I wanna get substrate on the sides. The thing is, this is so porous, like a terracotta, that the roots are just gonna cling to the pot. And when I have to up pot this again, it's going to be a nightmare. I usually have this on hand. It's just a tablespoon, half a tablespoon, but I'm using the back side of this. Don't love this pot for this. I love the way it looks, but I don't like this. I wish this was a little bit wider, just a little bit. Am I getting anyone a heart attack watching me do this, thinking, that's not gonna go well? Listen, believe in me. I'll have to stay on top of the watering with this one, and I will. It probably will get watered every 4 days, to be honest, and that's okay, because I'm home. Self-watering pots are amazing if you have a large collection that is getting difficult to manage, or even not a large collection, but I have the time, and I also just don't love the aesthetics of the self-watering pots, at least the ones that are really available also within a budget. So for me, and what I'm going for in my home, I've been sticking to handmade ceramics or terracotta. I do have a friend who's a potter who is now making self-watering pots. She's trying them out, you know, first to see if they are going to be effective and how they're working. And so I'm going to be getting one from her and giving her feedback. Okay. I'm not trying to pack it so tightly that the roots can't breathe, for the record, by the way. I'm just trying to get some down the sides. All right. Always tap the plant in there. Surround the roots with substrates so that when you water it, there's no pockets for dry rot to happen, which eventually leads to rot later. How you doing, buddy? That is going to be so cute. Now let me go get the trellis. I'm horrible with trellising. Horrible with trellising. I'm not even being, like, I'm a spiritual person, not religious person. I don't know what spiritual really means. Okay, wait. No. Oh, you're funky and cool. It's also going to live in a different spot in my home. But again, it has flat mites, so it's going to not be near anything that it could cause harm to. Stand by while I get a trellis. You guys, I've gotten up so many times, this is ridiculous. I'm supposed to be resting. Wait, hydrate. And clips. Okay. Let me put this. This needs to be sanitized. Flat mites. Definitely need flexible trellises. So everything should be bendable, which doesn't include bamboo. So we're gonna see which one is best. And I would like to use the black one by my friend Kristen. And at the rate that this guy is growing, that might work. It might be too tall, right? That's really tall. It's aggressively tall. That's a down the road. That's still tall. Okay. What I like about this one is the way it pokes in, although that root ball is not gonna love that. Good Lord. We'll give you the good view. Oh my God, this root ball hates me. We're going in, everyone, we're going in. If you have to make a face like this, it's a little bit tight. I would love to say to you, no harming of the root system was created during the making of this video. That's not true. Okay, well, it's in there. Okay, how, what? Hello? How am I? This is what I mean. I'm awful with trellising. I just want to give you a little bit of support. We all need a little bit of support. Well, I'm forcing you a little bit. I'm sorry. Don't snap on me. I'm really good at snapping the vines of Hoyas when I'm trellising them. When I pot up the next one, I'm going to tell you how I got into plants and why the aesthetic is so important to me. Is that bad? Is that ugly? Can you let me know? Like, I kind of don't love that, but I don't want to cut down this trellis to make it work just because I'm being a pain in the ass. You know what? We're going to let it be because I don't know if this is staying in this. I got to see how it settles for a minute. Right? Right. This is going right there. That's why the aesthetic matters. It's like right. Oh my God, that leaf. Oh, that leaf is frigging insane. So let me show you what I've been doing for fertilizer lately. I'm gonna put this over there behind me so we can drool. That looks so badass. I love it. I love it. Let me show you the fertilizers I've been using. Editing me has realized that I forgot to say something that's really important on YouTube, and I'm new, so it's even more important. Can you please subscribe? It would mean a lot to me. And click like and comment, because the engagement, I'll reply to everyone because I always do, would really help the channel and the algorithm, right? Feel me? I'm never going to ask anyone to hit notification. Like, does anyone actually use the notification bell? And it's just super annoying, so don't do that. Anyway, back to all the fun. And I hope you're doing your hobby or chores. Okay, thanks so much. Awkward. This is what I've been doing lately. So first I started using Seed Grow. I kind of used actually half the amount you need. It's winter. That's with half the amount. So Seed Grow is a 16-16-16. April from Unsolicited Plant Talks uses this, and she recommended it, and holy crap, my leaves are ginormous. But you do need to play with fertilizer because the plant could lose some characteristics that you want from the plant. If you go look at Unsolicited Plant Talks on YouTube, you'll see a video where she talks about fertilizer and what it can do to a plant. And then I added CalMag, and everyone is so grateful for it. I've been using Super Thrive forever, ever. This felt sticky to me. I've been using Super Thrive forever. So this is what I'm currently doing and will be for a long time. There's no reason to change, and things cost money. So anyway, time to pot up this succulent and its tiny little root system. Ew, I have CalMag on me. I'm chaos. I'm just gonna wipe this down with a little alcohol though. Is my hair falling? My hair is falling. I feel it. I wonder what's going on with the blizzard outside. I love walking in a blizzard. I'm currently housebound. When I say currently, I mean since like July. It's February. I get out for the doctors. But we're gonna get better together, and you guys are gonna witness it, and it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna vlog it. Okay, next. Right, that situation. All right, this guy gets to go into a piece of pottery by me, and that makes me really happy. I was known for making miniature planters that were for succulents and cacti, and they were available in plant shops in the New York area, and I missed that. That wasn't my job. It was my hobby that turned into a little bit of like an extra thing. So it's probably gonna be one of these guys, but it has to be, I wanna make sure it's deep enough. Yeah, it'll be this one. Yeah, definitely this one. That's kind of cool, if you can see. But this shape is good for that. Normally, I do not recommend that you use a planter that is bulbous on the side and then goes back in, because the root ball will eventually grow and then you won't be able to get it out of the pot because the lip is more narrow. So, but with this guy, I think it will be just fine. I don't want to knock any of the leaves off. Let me go a little bit deeper, actually. It is trying to branch off at the bottom. This is actually a shrub, like literally a shrub. I do have more succulent mix right next to me, so I'm gonna grab that. Don't fall over, hold on, just chill. I don't know what brand this is, and we don't care. It looks like it could be soils because I see leca balls in this. I don't know yet where I'm putting this one now. Is that centered? That's not centered. I'm gonna fix that now. Am I the only one? There's no way I'm the only one. Do it right the first time, because once this is in there, it will be in here for like a year. And it will go to the new apartment with me. This is one of my faves. Are you centered now, B? Yeah. I'm gonna do my best not to curse on this channel. I'm originally from New Jersey, moved to Manhattan in 1992 when my parents moved here. I'm the youngest of 4 of a blended marriage, and they were like, come live with us in the city and go to college here instead. So I transferred to the School of Visual Arts, where I studied film and video, is what it was called at the time. So that's how I landed in Manhattan in 1992. And they were in a cool area, man. It was like, it was Soho, but it was like more like on the fringe of the village in Soho, and not a trendy area, a little bit rough around the edges, but their apartment was so fabulous. And I was like, oh, I can live like this. Well, that almost leads me into my love for plants and also love for design and aesthetic, I guess. So maybe I should talk about that a little bit right now. But first, okay, we cute. I know I have a saucer somewhere for this. I feel like I'm sitting like this. I just have to figure out where it's gonna live. It needs high light. God, you're so cute. You're cute. Okay, it's cute. It's cute. I feel like I can keep going, and I know I should pace myself, and I shouldn't. I want to keep going. I'm also looking at my staghorn fern, and it needs water. Okay, let's keep going. We got 2 more to go for now. And again, it's gonna be tricky to see what fits into what. I just took a long pause trying to, like, just standing and staring and saying, should I keep going? This one's gonna be a beast to do. I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna stop and pick this up tomorrow or the next day. The plants can wait. I'm gonna pace myself, which we will talk about on another video about chronic illness and pacing. I'm really bad at it, so I'm really proud of myself right now. So we'll come back in another time. I'm sure the camera won't be exactly as it is now. I'm sure I will be wearing something else. I'll be sure to insert footage of the blizzard tomorrow morning as it's really going. Okay, more soon. Wait, it looks cute. Okay, good transition for the next day. That's the Hudson River right there. You can't even see it. Okay, time out. The window was open for a second. I got snow in my Kadada gold. Whoops. Yeah, okay, good life choices, Leslie. Good life choices. Okay, a cozy moment. Okay, maybe not, a little sarcasm. So the blizzard has come and gone. It's now Wednesday, and I'm sick. How someone who is housebound and doesn't see anyone else other than the awesome Beverly who comes to help me out and clean my home every 2 weeks. I haven't seen her in almost 2 weeks. How do you get sick? What? If I go into my hallway, I wear a mask. So anyway, I have an ear infection, what, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to see a covering doctor, by the way, in Manhattan. Uber's lifts are an absolute fortune, and I'm not well enough to take a subway. So it'll be at least $50 each way, not including tip. And that's happening. But wait, we had something bloom in my care for the first time, and I want to share it with you. So if you are new to orchids, you start with a phalaenopsis. And I got over a year ago a variegated phalaenopsis. Come on. Do you think I was going to get the green form? But look, it's first bloom in my care. I'm so proud. I feel successful. Sorry for the shaky hands, but it's so pretty. I'll insert a photo or something, but it's just, it's prettier than I remember. My shaky hand. I'm doing great, everyone. Dramatic. I know. I said I went to film school. Tell me you love her. Tell me you love her. Say, good job, Leslie. Yay, good job. All right, so maybe there'll be footage of the East River from the lift, and then at some point I'll repot the other two plants because they really do need it, and I really want to get it done, but I have to pace myself. But here we go. I'm adventuring outside. Okay, it's Thursday. I went to the doctor. So far, all the labs are coming back normal. Yet my throat is so swollen. Anyway, moving on. Hi. So the window's open because the sun is going to be beating on me. If you don't follow Wild Fern on YouTube, please do, but you'll see what happens if you have southern exposure, which is like the dream. The sun shifts obviously throughout the year. And that means the plants in my home need to shift throughout the year, but it also means I have to shift throughout the year. So the sun is going to be, it's a little overcast right now, but it could be beating in my face. Moving on, that's why I'm sitting here, but also I opened the window because I am dying. It's 40 degrees out. That feels really good right now. Okay, so we're going to try to repot. Now, I don't know which planter this will go into. I have some ideas, but this is a Ganun Kalam SS011. This is growing amazing for me. It was a 2-leaf prop that I got in the fall. And it needs a little dust off. Now this leaf here, you'll see what looks like, oh my God, what a weird leaf. It's mechanical damage. It got stuck in the trellis, and I actually love that it's coming in curl. It's still not hardened off, so I have to be careful. But as you can see, it really needs a repot. Beverly's going to be here in an hour and a half. We'll see if I'm done by then. It's a mess in here. That's why I'm trying to do this. She's coming to clean and help me out. So I decided to do it now. I don't want to make a mess after she leaves. Also, I brought my plant supply cart in here. You'll see. Okay. I will show you, there's something funky on this leaf, and I'm going to send a picture of it to my friend Callie of Callie's Greenhouse to see if she has an opinion of what it might be. I might also send it to April at Unsolicited Plant Talks to see if she knows. I'm not worried about it because the plant's growing great. I have looked under the microscope and I don't know what it is. Be sure to get yourself some plant friends who are much smarter than you. The roots feel like they are clinging to the inside of the terracotta pot. So that is the risk of using terracotta. I'm gonna need to go around the edges to help it release itself from this beautiful Berg's pot. Stand by. See, everything's right here this time. Pulling it together. Oh boy. I talked to my friend Bridget about, she has a lot of ache. This is an ache species. I talked to her about like, I think I need to up-pot that. She's like, don't touch it. The only reason she said that, this was like 2 months ago, it's because it's growing so well. Often you can like squeeze a pot, right? I love the look of terracotta, but oh my God, it's really stuck. I'm not surprised. I watered this 2 days ago, right after part 1, day 1. Oh my God, the second bloom on the orchid is starting to open. It's so exciting. I have other orchids that I purchased after that one that have bloomed in my care. It's just a matter of like that being the OG, and it wasn't giving me a spike for a while. Ooh, good roots. Now, I've talked about this in some of my short form videos, not all of them are uploaded here, about also being aware of the shape of the pots that you get, which I did talk about on day 1, right? Like, I knew that this was gonna have a funky bottom. Look at those roots. They're so happy. The planter I want to put this in, and it's funky, I think is gonna be too big, which means you're about to witness a triple pot, because I need to take a pot from something, another plant. And again, I'm not feeling so hot. I'm getting a headache. Oh wait, hydrate. I'm just don't chill. That new leaf. I'll just show you one sticker on it, which is my favorite. I was normal 3 plants ago. I would say about 75 plants ago. Okay, now I do have story time, but I want to kind of like say a few things before that and then dive in, but let's get the other planter ideas. God, that's the hard thing about telling a story and repot when you have a lot of like complicated planter situation. This is the one I want to put it in. He's not making planters really anymore. He really does a lot of lawn sculptures and design in California. I believe that's all accurate information. It's amazing. Obviously, as you can tell, it's gonna be too deep, but I was thinking about putting some leca balls at the bottom. The question is, are the leaves large enough for such a substantial pot? Like, so I'm gonna look at it sorry, it's gonna be about me for a second. I don't think the plant is substantial enough for it. It needs a bigger leaf. This is gonna be a triple pot, I think. Oh, dude, I wish. Okay. I'm not thrilled about this because I want to do the Gunungading Ghost today, the GGG, as well. It really needs it. So, okay, it's sitting right there. I was organized today, the plant that I think I need to steal the planter from. I don't want to put this in terracotta again, so extreme close up. This is also a Hoya, name on screen. I bought it for, well, 2 reasons. The original leaves were so beautiful. They reminded me a little bit of an anthurium, which I only have 2 in my home and I'm not very good with them. But I also bought it for the blooms. So you can look those up, or I'll put something on screen. We'll see. I think this planter would be better. This is a planter by me. It's not one of my favorites, I'll be very honest. But it has a terrific saucer that's nice and deep. As far as like shape and form go. I don't love this Hoya. It's probably not gonna make it to whatever next apartment I'm in. I don't wanna move, as I mentioned, but friends are gonna help go explore neighborhoods in Queens and Brooklyn. I can't afford Hoboken and send me footage of apartments since I can't get out too much. Or I'll drive around. Some friends will take me on drives around neighborhoods and I'll figure it out, and I'm excited to show you all the things about New York. I'm never leaving New York. I'm not ever leaving New York. I'm not. I mean, I mentioned Hoboken, but it's right across the river, and I have 4 friends that live there. But yeah, we'll get into that this summer. Makes me sad, but also like, maybe I'll end up with an apartment with a patio or a outdoor space that's cheaper than this place. Bigger drainage hole for cacti and succulents. That's what this was for. I started to make those right before I got sick. Okay. Are you gonna be too wide? Are we going through this shit again? I can make that more narrow. By the way, I'm not a plant expert if you haven't noticed, but like I never pretended to be, and I will get into my origin story, and I love people's origin stories of any hobby or interest you have. I love to hear how, why, even about your tattoos, what they mean. I love to hear about why plants, why decor, why painting, why cars, why, like, I love to hear origin stories, and I'm excited to share some of mine with you. But because I just think it's interesting and fascinating why people get into plants. All right, I'm gonna try this one. Yes, there's emergent leaves. The ones prior to it fell off. I think I may have missed a watering. If you are into Hoya and you want to follow experts on YouTube, Doug Chamberlain. He's not really posting much, I don't think, on YouTube anymore. I could be wrong, but go read his blog. The one thing that I will not say I am, a lot of people who get really into hobbies love to read books, love to research, deep research. People will call it hyperfixation. I call it education. I'm not great with education. So I more lean on my friends who are really wise and have done those deep dives to kind of inform me what to do. I mean, yes, I'll look up things every now and then. So I read Doug Chamberlain's blog about this one. I'm trying to release the screen at the bottom, which is there to catch the substrate from the large drainage hole. I don't use the right kind of screens. I'll explain in a bit. Anyway, I looked up Doug Chamberlain's conversation on his blog about this specific Hoya. He hated it. He tried. The leaves discolor. It's difficult. But he gets his plants because he wants them to bloom. And then once they bloom, they're like, he sometimes is like, that was too difficult, that's out of here. I'm gonna have to damage some of these roots. You know what, I'm gonna cut away the screen. I also reached out to my friend Kristen. Not Another Hoya is her name, if you wanna follow her on Instagram. We're part of the same plant community. And I asked her if she was familiar with this plant. She's like, oh yeah, no, I keep it in low light. I showed her where I was gonna keep it in my home, and she was like, that looks like a good idea for that one. So if you don't have plant friends, I can give you some pointers on that. Again, I think it's important to, number one, research where the plant lives in nature. You've heard that before if you're on PlantTube, to understand the environment it wants. I haven't been great about that. That's something I'm going to work on this year. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to put that in my plant journal under each plant, their origin. You want to replicate as much as you can, but also we're in an I'm in an apartment and you're in a house. You know, if you don't have a greenhouse environment, or even a greenhouse environment in a cabinet might be the wrong environment for it. Look at me trying to save like one tiny little root. This is just dumb of me. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get this into. This is a chaotic video. I acknowledge this is a chaotic week, okay? Okay. Only one root got damaged. Hey, that was good. Do you hear the sounds in New York City? I'm in a very quiet neighborhood. That's gonna change. I have to come to terms with that. But that's, you know, somebody backing it up. Either a city bus or someone delivering. Want to hear many sirens down here? You'll hear helicopters, possibly. Sometimes military flyovers are going on down here. I am right by World Trade and the Statue of Liberty, and I can see Ellis Island just by doing that, which is amazing. Okay, okay, I think it's gonna fit. What do you think? What do you guys think? Hedge your bets now. What if I don't even like it in there? I don't like this plant. It's fine. Oh, I love you. You're doing great. Give me a bloom. Oh, I just want it to bloom. I'll be Doug Chamberlain. I just want it to bloom and then it can go. But no, it's not coming to the new home. It will be sold. It fits like a glove. Not even like a glove. There's room. That's better. Okay, do you see what I mean by it needed a larger leaf Hoya? I think. Is it amazing? No. Do I care? Not really. So I'm gonna have to put some depth in there. Okay, guys, that's fine. Large hole, putting a screen in. I don't use the right kind of screen, as you just witnessed. You wanna get plastic wider screens. Again, I can't show you right now because the only ones I have are being used. You wanna laugh? You know you wanna laugh. Everyone laugh at me. So I was like, I need screens. I bought the cheapest. Ready? I feel like I should stand up. Literally, what would be hung as a screen door. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. This was so cheap, and I'm only taking a little bit at a time. It's been awful for the roots, but nothing's going through, and I just lost only a little bit of a root. So there it is. Okay, it's been fine. It's the dumbest thing I've ever, it's like so dumb. And I have to store it. Anyway. Just like crafting. Plant people are crazy. No, we're not. By the way, something hit me. Like a ton of bricks. I think it was yesterday. You know, we all call it like plant collecting. I prefer the word growing. I'm no longer like collecting, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's what I need to be doing at that time in my life. I'm growing. I'm growing plants, just like a garden, but they happen to be indoors. Like I'm a grower. To any of my friends who are watching, yeah, this is what your friend Leslie looks like in her home doing plant chores. You're all better at it than I am. Anyway, what do you think about that? Plant growing. And maybe that terminology, if you're someone who right now is doing a lot of collecting, and again, plants get big. That was not big when I got it. It's massive. I've only had it like not even a year and a half. The plant collecting stage is a hard stage to break. We all make jokes about it. It's the Pokemon stage. You want to catch them all. But can you care for them all? What happens when they get big? Also, you want to learn about the plants and grow them really well, which is something I wasn't doing. I was taking a lot of advice from YouTube early on that was honestly, I wouldn't say it, fake news. Hoyas don't want to go bone dry for days and days and days. They don't. Like, careful where you get your information, which is why I'm saying to you right now, I am not an expert. I'm a hobbyist who loves plant decor and design in my home and nurturing plants. It's also really calming for my nervous system, meaning my physical health and mental health, sure. And maybe now is when I'll get into my origin story. But I just want to say, I understand the dopamine hit of buying plants. I love going to a plant shop. And when I no longer could go out of the house and go to my plant shops, and also my collection was getting a little bit fancier, not fancier, but a little bit more desirable collectible plants than what was available in my local plant shops, then it became about the apps and buying online. And that's just clicking a button, and that's a dopamine hit from your sofa. And it became a lot. And I feel like I'm getting the same dopamine hit by growing my plants well and getting new leaves and by blooms and doing it right. It just is a slow release, like a fertilizer on the dopamine hit. So if you're someone looking to dial back the purchasing, I think that maybe look at yourself as a grower and get excited about the leaves, even if something has a pest. If you you beat the flat mites and you see new growth, that's amazing. If the root mealies are getting you and you have to chop everything up and put it into a prop box, I'm looking at mine, and then watch them regrow, that feels good. I don't know, man. I love it. Adding some leca. This is because the bottom of the pot is a little on the deep side. I'm loving tree fern. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Some of my plants are cropping in it with some pumice or perlite, and they're doing great. I'm gonna be taking things out of the prop box soon, so that will be another video. This is what I mean, I go by feel. I'm feeling this, like, is this what this plant, not this plant, this plant will need? I want it to retain the moisture because it's thin leaf, but I also need to be well draining, and it's in a bigger pot though, so I need those roots to work their way down, but not rot. So this is super chunky. I think that it will be happy, I think. I'm excited to put this back into rotation. The plant that was in it is dead. It was an aloe tree. And I think, I don't know what I did wrong. I think I didn't water it enough. And I'm bummed. It looks so cool. I bought them like as a pairing idea online, like during a live. But that's okay. I learned, and I need to downsize. Just I'm left with a lot of gorgeous planters that don't have anything in them. I think this combo is going to make me more excited about this plant, which often happens. I'll think that a plant is going to leave my home, and then I repot it in something, and I'm like, oh, I'm obsessed. See? Now I'm liking it more. Okay. Sometimes, otherwise known as often, when things get repotted, I need to change where they live in my home because I want the style to look good. I'm about the plant styling, the aesthetic. I really am. It matters so much to me. It's a very curated, It's a very curated way to go about plant growing, and I'm not the only one. Someone who I recommend to follow if you're into home decor with plants is Benj. I don't remember his channel name, but he is all about plant styling. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, he lost his collection and his home in the fires in Los Angeles. But you can watch his old videos. He's starting to build up his collection again, but it's never gonna be, he has no plans to make it as big as it was. His taste in pottery, but he's had a chance to travel the world to collect. Why plants? I talked a bit about when I moved to New York, but that's not the story. But what was a bit of the story and what is a bit of the story are my parents, my father and my stepmother. I think this first starts with the origin of why decor and home first, but it's not why plants first. There's bringing them together. My dad and stepmom had a office furniture dealership business in New York City, and they were the #1 dealership of Knoll Furniture, Knoll, and other high-end places. I think they did the offices of not just Oppenheimer, but like DC Comics. So we were always surrounded by designers, interior designers. And when they got married and got a new home together, it was done by designers. I lived in a designer home. That was actually quite cold. There was no family photos around. My stepmother was always really inclusive, especially with me being the artsy like kiddo, of asking my opinion or asking my stepsister and I what we wanted our bedrooms to look like. Always use a trellis or a stick. They need support to grow. Just by the way, I'll insert that thought. I think a black trellis would be cooler. When they got married and they were moving into a home together with 4 kids, my stepsister and I were asked, what we wanted our bedrooms to look like. Now, being the type of kid I was 10, turning 11. I came to them with a high design concept. It was 1981, and I wanted a platformed room with a sunken living room with the entire thing green. I wanted green, and I wanted plants around the sunken living room hanging down. Plants. Interesting. We didn't have any house plants. We did have outdoor landscaping, and that brings me to, I can go backwards in time to my mother, who passed away when I was very young, but she did have a love for outdoor beauty. We had a magnolia tree, Japanese maple. Like, I'm telling you, I remember I was friends with the people who did our lawn, like friends with them. Peter was his name. Just remembered Peter. I was like, I'm talking 1974, 1975. I was so interested in the tulips she planted. I remember the colors in front of the house. I loved the mint she had planted in the back. Always fascinated by plants. When my stepmother was in my life, her brother-in-law, by the way, we're done. Plant one. It's funky, but it's a funky plant. I think it's cooler in this than it was in that. Okay, so we're going to talk about Uncle Dennis and how Uncle Dennis, I think, flipped on the switch. Because my parents, by the way, said no to that bedroom idea. Did I have the coolest bedroom ever? Yeah, I did. And I have a drawing that I made of it somewhere. I don't know where it is. I'll put this here to admire it. That's cool. This is going in my bedroom, I think. I can't wait to talk about Uncle Dennis. Like, he's the one that triggered little Leslie to like, all right, let's see how this goes. Oh my God, what if this plant isn't good in this after all of that? It's great. That's the right size. You really want to go, and I'll show you, about, I don't know if you can see that, like an inch on each side when you're upsizing. I wish it was slightly deeper, but I think that's good. And I'm going to make sure that I started to do these cut feet on the planters I made. I don't know if you can see that. That's so that when you water them, when they're sitting in the saucer, they're not just like sitting in the pool of water, even though there's drainage. It's so that like the water can run through the sides, and then you don't have an issue with it. Do you get what I'm saying? Anyway, especially for cacti and succulents. So that was, again, something I had started doing and then had to pause, and I was excited about the notches on the side. Yeah, I'm down with this. Cool. Wait, let me cut some more screen. No one has ever seen this moment before. It's like been my little secret. Oh my God. I really need the other kind. I should run this under hot water. Don't do what I'm doing. Clean your pots. Can I just clean my pot sitting here? I don't want to get up. Don't do what I do. Unless you choose to. It's my plant leaf cleaner. I got this formula from Callie of Callie's Greenhouse. If you're into Hoya, Facebook group, her Instagram, she's amazing. She grows in ambient conditions indoors, and she's a greenhouse, but what she sells is in her ambient conditions. Just gonna spray down the inside. This has a little neem. It has a little, I'm trying to remember everything that's in this. It has neem. This has a little bit of Castile soap. I put a little bit of peppermint. There's water. Anyway, nothing that's gonna harm the roots. Okay, it's clean now. Shut up. I'm gonna put a little bit more of Jax's mix in here, the Hoya mix. The only thing I don't love about Jax's mix is that she uses it as a grower. So it says the perfect blend of cocoa, husk and fiber, which is great. Small and large perlite, which is great. Controlled release fertilizer. I fertilize my plants, you don't want to overdo it. And systemic granules. A lot of people don't like systemic granules. I don't have a problem with it. Nothing is being pollinated in my home. I'm not growing outdoors. Take care of the pests that you can take care of, so that's great. So just be aware though, the slow release fertilizer is what gets me. However, this is a plant from Jack's. It's doing great. Uncle Dennis lived in New Jersey near the shore, but not like that shore, not like boom, boom, you know, I can't do that thing. But the Jersey Shore. And he had an amazing greenhouse. And the only kid who gave a shit, of course, was me. And so he would take me out to the greenhouse and he had orchids. He was an orchid grower. He was in orchid shows, he was in orchid societies, a lot of air plants, and he grew fruit trees in his yard, like in New Jersey. So Uncle Dennis, man, I could spend hours in that greenhouse. I felt like I was at a botanical garden, and he would show me these beautiful orchids. I didn't know what anything was. Was he hybridizing? I think so. Sure. I don't know. I could be making that up. It just was like a wonderland for me. And in their home, they had an atrium with trees growing up in the middle of this ranch level home. And I was 11 when I first met them, because again, it was the blended marriage. That's when my parents got married. Whenever we visited them, I was like, okay, going with Uncle Dennis, see you later. So he did give me some Spanish moss. And he said to me, you know, just missed it sometimes. I was growing it like in the bathroom, not near any light whatsoever. So that didn't live long. In our home in New Jersey, again, where I grew up, we didn't have any plants except for, I remember my parents trying to grow a ficus, maybe a Ficus benjamina, maybe? And it kept dropping all of its leaves and dropping all of its leaves. I was thinking about this morning for whatever reason. I know exactly what was wrong. It wasn't near enough light whatsoever. They tried twice. Then they got a really good fake ficus instead, and it was so good that somebody who came over to take care of things watered the fake ficus. By the way, oh my God, this is such a great part of the story. If you're still with me, oh my God, I hope you stay, because this is the best part. My first job ever was in a seaside town, and it was a shop in Sag Harbor, Long Island. I'm gonna bang this down 1 sec. I sold seashells by the seashore. Literally, it was a shell shop, but also we sold plants like hibiscus. I'm trying to remember what other plants we had. Right now, hibiscus comes to mind, and there were handmade planters and crystals and CDs and all this new age stuff. And then, you know, it was like a really hippy dippy place, crystals. So I would get there early every day to bring all the plants out, water all the plants. Again, I was 16. I question now as an adult, I think there's a possibility, maybe, that it was a little bit of a front for something else. I think they were selling a little something else. Nothing that's illegal today in most states. I'm positive. It was a front. I was working at a front for many summers. I had no idea. Leave it to me. I was an innocent person. Like, I think this has another growth point, by the way. Anyway, Dumb and Dumber over here. Don't know what is on that leaf. I'll have to do let me give a little B-roll of this leaf, so maybe one of you might know what it is. Okay, so I connected with Callie and we reviewed this, and there's even microscopic footage. This is not pests. We're not quite sure. It could be fertilizer burn. Remember what I said about the slow release fertilizer, pleasant fertilizing? It could be a slight cell collapse, she said, from environmental changes. Would love to hear from you guys. That's not scale. This is what this is looking like. I'll show you with the saucer when it's done. The star of the show is the plant, and it often should be. When I was learning pottery, and I told the pottery teacher, Jerry, I said, I'm probably gonna make a lot of planters. He said to me, the planter should be just very simple. Let it be about the plant. I don't fully agree with that. I think that if you're putting it with the right plant combo, the planter can have a lot of personality. I'm so sorry you suffered in that little planter. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So guys, I worked in a front. Moving on to adult me. I didn't really think about plants again. Like, I didn't It didn't occur to me that I wanted plants when I was living in apartments. I lived, when I finally got my own apartment without roommates, I lived in a very dark apartment on 19th Street between Irving and 3rd. It's known as, if you could look it up, Block Beautiful. It is the backside of Gramercy Park where it's all the carriage houses. And I lived in the worst building on the most beautiful block. And before I looked at it, the guy said to me, hey, don't come and see the apartment if you care about light. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to live on that block. I lived there for 18 years. The rent was cheap, okay? I faced north and west, but I faced brick walls. I had no plants. And then I didn't really think about it. Wait, hold on. You want to go counterclockwise with Hoya? This is how they grow in nature. I don't know if you remember me saying I suck at trellising. I wish I could just zoom ahead so you didn't see this moment. I'm terrible at trellising, Hoya. Okay, wait, believe in yourself. Take a minute, take a breath. It's a lot for me with my health condition to be up and talking and doing something and sitting upright this long. But my doctor, one of them, said, I need you to continue making videos. I'm like, what? He's like, you need to do this. I'm like, okay, I will. Anyway, I'm in this apartment for 18 years and I don't think about plants. Someone gifted me, a few times I got plants and I'm like, I don't know why that's dead. There was no light. I didn't know about grow lights. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I think I want to keep it the way it was, which was like this. Once you go down on a Hoya, the vine could die, so you want to make sure you're coming back up. I believe, again, that's what I do and it's been working great, but please also listen to the experts out there. I just don't want to be responsible for your plant collection. I don't. And your environment's different and you might have different knowledge and I want you to chime in. This is a collab, this is a friendship. So thank you for watching. Okay, so I'm in that dark apartment. No plants are anywhere in sight of my life. I don't even think about it. I forget about little Leslie. I forgot that I wanted plants, which is crazy. So 2020 happens to all of us. And one of the things that occurred to me as life slowed down was, what are my goals? What are my dreams? Because I was working hard at everyone else's dreams my entire career. And we'll talk about my career another time. I lost sight. Oh no. Oh no. I can't have trellis issues. Hold on. I have a lot of clips, the dragonfly ones, butterfly ones. I like the simple ones, depending on the plant, that have nothing. Start to really think about, what do I want? And one of the things that happened was, in particular, one friend really encouraged me to get the hell out of that apartment. 18 years there. She actually kept lowering the rent for me during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic. And my friend said, I don't care if that place is free. You need to leave. It was dark and depressing. And to be working from home from a 425 square foot apartment in Manhattan without light, with us banging our pots out the window to celebrate the healthcare workers, which was amazing. They were incredible. I had to go. And as I mentioned on day one, the rent concessions in Manhattan, what I meant was, like, most people moved out of New York City, really freaked out. Beautiful areas, beautiful complexes end up reducing the crap out of their rents and giving like 3 months free. And that's what happened here. And I moved in, southern exposure, like southwest, with the view of the river. I couldn't afford that ever in my life. Like, I was like, no way. And I said to like 2 friends when I was moving, I'm like, don't give me a gift, give me plants. Like, I was like, I have south-facing windows. I don't know what that means. So my friends Jackie and my friend Jenny both gifted me plants. And that was the beginning of the journey. And I was like, I think I want a fiddly fig. And I think I want and my friend gave me a bird of paradise. And those were, and I had a pothos and I had a money tree. Do you hear the word had? I gifted, I sold, I got rid of them as time went on. It's good. This one looks good. It doesn't look amazing. It's very hard for me that I can't do pottery. I would have been normally creating a pot for this. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, I quickly got addicted and I couldn't stop talking about it. So I went from 7 plants to 14. I kind of remember hitting like 23, and then it's all a blur from there. I was at the local plant shops like every weekend. I couldn't stop. My friend was like, can you stop talking about plants? But it goes back to what I mentioned about my parents. Here it is. We have one more plant to go, by the way. About my parents and design. I was obsessed with the fact that I finally had a home that I wanted to decorate, that I could decorate, that I could actually fit a dining table somewhere in it that belonged to my mom, again, who I lost in 1976. I never had a place for her dining table. So it became about plants and the pots and where they were placed in the home, and less about how do you grow plants, more about how they look. But I loved having plants finally, so it was all the things coming together. The design, the aesthetic, welcoming people into my home finally. No one was allowed in my old apartment. I didn't have people over. I started throwing parties here. Like even though it was the pandemic, I was like, come over, the fireworks are happening. I became so filled with life and joy and hobbies. Pottery story for another time. Might be time to close the window because the sun is now behind clouds. It's done. Okay, I'm gonna close the window. We're gonna move on to the bougie plant. There's a chance this is a quadruple repot. I forgot. Okay. I'm gonna consider putting the Gununganing Ghost into this because the hues of it, when it gets unstressed, will be burgundy and pink. I can't wait to hear from you guys what you did while I was doing all this. Like, I hope you were doing chores or your hobby or cleaning your kitchen. That's what I do. The Gununganing was a smaller plant when I got it. Honestly, the specimen did not do well. So this is the newest leaf, and this is the other leaf. They came at the same time. As you can see, this is barely any splashing. This is gorgeous. So we'll see how this continues to grow. Sometimes a Gununganing Ghost can revert and then you cut it and it's fine. They're still slightly hardening off, but this was in my care, so we're good. Okay, I think, let's just get it out of here and then I'll decide. I don't know if this pot's just gonna be too big for it as well. So I do have a smaller pot sitting next to me with another plant in it. This is coming out so easy, which to me means the root system is not that big. What's tricky is this is such a lightweight, this was a planter by me. It's very delicate and light. The saucer is so paper thin. This is one of my favorite planters, but it looks best with a succulent in it. I think this root system is nope, not happening. In the future, it will happen, but not today, not today. So what I'm thinking, can't believe this. See, it's never just one plant in my house. I started this, I wasn't even doing pottery yet, so I was just buying my planters at TJ Maxx. Seems to be the right size. Yeah, okay. I'm glad actually, though, everyone's seeing my real life, because it's not as simple as because I can't do pottery, because I can't afford to buy pots right now, I end up in like a situation when I'm repotting. It's not usually this chaotic though. It's also because I'm getting lower and lower on the pots I have available to me. It's actually gonna be good for me to take a good look at this root system. I wanna get this one more aggressively growing. I feel like it should be bigger than it is. I have checked to see if there were any flat mites or anything going on. It does have new growth. I just think it needs to be watered more often. Even just looking at the roots, they're a little dry. I've been starting to get a little more aggressive with watering it. Oh my God, I like it a lot more, this plant in this, a lot more. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm gonna change out this mat. I don't wanna risk the ganunganing being in anything that could be anywhere near root mealy or any pests. So this is why I use paper today. I'm just gonna dump all this and put down some new paper. So this is my moment to encourage you to reuse paper bags if you're not gonna use the substrate again, because it's as simple as this. Honestly, even if you are going to use the substrate again, put it somewhere. Your cleanup is much easier. You don't need a fancy potting mat. Oh my God, I'm starving, tired, I'm overdoing it. Hey, another thing you can use is a box. So I'm going to use this box, which I've used before a long time ago. And good news, everyone, I cleaned the planters really well. So I think that I just pot up this one first and then I'll do the GGG. Crunch time, Beverly's gonna be here soon. You know what, I'm really glad that I've unpotted this, though I really see that these roots, this plant wants more water. And I'm excited to see it thrive. Like, it's gonna do great. Now that I understand this plant, getting into your root system really matters. You know what else matters? You know what else matters? Hydration, breathing, eating, and some lip gloss. I feel like I need lip gloss. Please share with me your stories. I really, 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 really do want to know. I just find it fascinating. This is going into something porous. So what are we going to do? Add some tree fern fiber and the whole thing. People, honestly, I think just fell in love later in life. But I feel like if they took a moment and really thought about it, there's little them somewhere in the story. Like, by the way, when I started getting my plants like a crazy woman, okay, crazy, I forgot about little me. I forgot about the drawing that I did of my bedroom and wanting a jungle in my bedroom at 10. That root system doesn't have much substrate around it, by the way. There's not much going on there. By the way, if you ever buy terracotta, Berg's, the brand Berg's, recommends that you soak the terracotta for 24 hours before using it. I didn't do 24 hours, but I did do like a half a day with this one, like it's soaking. This is gonna do so. See, this is what I mean. I'm gonna be obsessed with this plant now due to this pairing. You watch, you'll see. You'll see, use in the box. Even though I'm not spending money on plants right now, and I do have a trade coming up of one Hoya that I really want, I do want to fill out the beautiful pottery that I have that's really meant for succulent and cacti. And the game plan, maybe will be gift cards. I can ask people around my birthday, which is in July. I want to get a bunch of different types of Sansevieria. Dracaena now, snake plants. Easy care. Not going to be expensive, very structural, can live in different areas of the home. I do have some and I love them, so I want to get more. They're like been with me for a long time and doing well. See, this was a quick repot. I'm glad I started here. You ready? You ready? You ready? It was all about this saucer. See, I think that looks so much better. That planter did it no favors. That planter by me, that glaze combo did not go well. So anyway, the Hoya angulare. Oh my God, I think you look so cute. We're gonna put you right back here. Last up, so this planter, while it's one of my favorites, I don't love the glaze combination that I used. I thought it was gonna have a little bit more blue tone. I don't know if it's coming through, but I do love the design I did as far as during the trimming. I'm very happy with that. The most expensive Hoya in my collection. I'm not gonna talk about how much I spent. I do have regrets on spending this much because Hoya prices come down if they're popular, and this was like the plant of 2025 in the Hoya community. So, and I'm not gonna sun stress it just yet. I want the leaves to grow in large. And the more sunny and light and blast it gets, the smaller the leaves will be. I want them to be large and in charge before I hit it with a lot of light. So I'm gonna keep working that fertilizer situation that I've been doing and get that to size up nicely for me. I'm overdoing it right now. Remember I mentioned pacing? This is not what pacing looks like. Bottom of the barrel on Jax's mix, look. Finding the front of the pot, which definitely for me is where you can see the design element there. I love caring for my plants, so I don't do it on a schedule, nor do they want to be cared for on a schedule because life out there in the wilderness is not on a schedule. And I don't overwhelm myself by watering all my plants at once or by room. I can't wait to share the journal and what I've been doing. It's easy, won't be as long a video. And it's allowed me to just be even more obsessed with the hobby. But it keeps me on track, and I think it's making the plants much happier. Why is this like your front view? That's rude. Notice that I did not touch the root system on this one. I wonder, like, I'm sure some of you watching this may have your regret purchase that you wish you just didn't spend that and you waited a little longer. I think that looks really cute. Okay, this is cute. I'm happy with this. You have to understand, it's very rewarding for me to see some of my planters from that are able to be a part of my collection, especially if they're ones that I like. I don't like all of them. I sold a lot of them. So anyway, use a stick if it doesn't need a trellis yet to encourage that growth. Obviously the growth point is still going. You want your plants to grow the moment they come in. Use a stick. I learned that from Callie, mentioned her name before. This is a gift that Callie gives with every purchase. And I just reached out to her and said, I need sticks. Can I buy some from you? And the answer was a yes. So I'm getting 12 in. And I think she's going to start selling these. They're just chopsticks, but she gets them in bulk, and they're not wood. If you're using wood chopsticks, they're going to rot. If you use them in your prop box, they're going to get mold. This is perfect for propping. So I am so excited to get that from Callie because I need to get things out of the prop box very soon. I'm very nervous about this. It feels like it's bending in a way that it doesn't. What did I say about me and trellising? All right, I'll just put it at the bottom for now. Yeah, I guess that's enough support. Yeah, that's enough support. Did you hear the drill? I better wrap it up. Okay, so that's the last one. This planter, it does have a saucer. I just don't want to use that saucer. It's on display. Let me grab the saucer. We'll wrap up this video. Stand by. Oh my God. Beverly's probably going to be here in any moment, any moment. So let me show you everything, wrapping up this video. Like, I'm not going to continue the week because I'm probably going to be in bed all day tomorrow. Hold on. Okay, here's why I didn't want to grab the saucer. Because it's on display as a nesting situation. So I used to make these mini trinket dishes. So as you go, they have different glaze combos that go with each other. And this is my favorite one. This is literally my favorite one. But this is actually indeed the saucer for this. So we're done. Here, let's put them on display, wrap up this video. That took days, did it not? Oh my God, the drill. I hope, do you hear the drill? Look what we did. Look what we did. Thank you for being here. Hey, so where I'll end up is I'll show you where everything lands in the apartment as far as where I display them, because I don't know yet if things are going to stay where they were. Thank you for being here with me for my first long form video. I don't plan on them always being chaotic, and know that if you made it this far, they're not always going to be about plants. It might be about home decor, might be about exploring New York City if I get out again. Oh my God, I can't wait for the first time I get back on a ferry. It's going to be about other hobbies like journaling, drawing and painting, which is something I've taken up very recently, and hopefully one day again, pottery. So thank you for being here. You have no idea how much it means to me, and literally means to me, because I love making videos and I hope to be consistent and well enough to be consistent and to get to know all of you and your interests and your hobbies. And I hope this was a cozy, mellow video for you to watch. That's all. Thanks.